So, within the span of 3 months, Brother Ibrahim Traore, Captain Ibrahim Traore, over in Burkina Faso, just lost 250 men to the agendas of the genetically modified behind the scenes who control everything. I ain't trying to hear all your group names. I ain't trying to hear all your politics, all your Republicans. I don't care about your ethnic codes. I don't care about your ethnic grounds. An agenda is being preserved over melanated people's lives worldwide. And an agenda on a surface level, at the surface root, should I say, those who we would label and describe as white people are maintaining an ideology in our world that ensures good men lose their lives early to sustain its disgust. Brother Ibrahim Traore just lost 250 family members within the span of 3 months. We know why. At the root, surface root, the core root. At the core root of the problem, it is what we have been dealing with long before the white people even existed or was even thought of. The core of the problem, why they keep doing it, existed long before the white people or the so-called white people even existed or were even thought of. A moment of silence for those who were lost in Burkina Faso. Amen. May they rest well. The only way this stops is if we stop the problem. At the surface and at the core. The surface root and at the core root. You all know this, yet any mention of what they do to a thing drives you all into your deflectious combo talk. No, that's not true. You're just being racist. You're just being a bigot. Oh, that only happened to one person in one area. Even though it's obviously happening everywhere. Did you know, no matter how much we beat the devil's sword down, it's still going to act as if it has us all conquered? No matter what, it's just going to be in the mind frame of the Lady of Death. The Lady of Death who gave birth one time, or who gave life once and feels entitled to it all. But your death, you're the personification of death. And all of those who are completely coerced, so much so to where their genetic modifications are drained inwards and no longer can give them the control that they need from the soul, they just go around coercing other people to follow the Lady of Death's agendas. Soul King Military Unleashed, Part 10. Transcendence Recap. The Spiritual Citizens Invasion Force, the Perfect Love Infantry 9, Purge Targets, the 9 Negative Belief System Pillars, Outcome of Objective, and/or the Domination Force of the 9 Negative Belief System Pillars, the 9 Foul Principality Sins. Part 2. The Spiritual Army Parable and the Perfect Love Soldiers Infantry Invasion Force, the 9 Fragrant Principality Virtues, Purge Targets, the 9 Foul Principality Sins, the ones that just came about, Domination Force of the 9 Foul Principality Sins, and/or the outcome of the Invasion Force's objective, the 9 Fragrant Principality Virtues, will be of the 9 Enemy Regulation Forces. Part 3. The Spiritual Navy and the Perfect Love Sailors Invasion Force, the 9 Divine Visual Forces, and/or the 9 Major Measurement Words, their Purge Targets, the 9 Enemy Regulation Forces, which has the Domination Force, and/or which will become the outcome of objectives, the 9 Chakra System. Unto Part 4. Remember, everything of this world, including the chakras that tell us that spiritual powers can be imbalanced, are artificial ethnic codings. Ethnics come from the 5 people you associate with most. Ethics come from the grounds upon which you stand on thereof. What if you stood on soul grounds? What if you stood on soul ethics? What if you received your orders from soul ethnics or from spiritual ethnics? Through the spirit, the soul breathes. Next, part 4. One of the most powerful parables, in my opinion. The Spiritual Marine Corps parable and their Perfect Love Marines invasion force. The 9-dimensional base and or sword parable. Purge targets, the 9 chakra system. The 9 chakra system's domination force are the 9-dimensional base and or sword form. Details, real quick, because this is the one of the most strongest ones I have. At E1, the soul sword handle being the white leadership in real life. Once I get the grip, I rip you out of the root. Because at E1, the base of E1 is the root chakra. E2's base is the sacral chakra, where the soul sword blade is located. And in reality, the soul sword blade are the white fighters. E3 has the solar plexus chakra as a base. And at E3 is the soul sword tip, domination force, the white civilians. At E4, the heart chakra at base, the soul king's feet and legs. In reality, the black civilians. At E5, where the throat chakra is at the base, the soul king's 6 gangster arms. In reality, it's domination force of the black fighters. At E6, where the 3rd eye chakra is at the base, the soul king's torso. Only trust and respect with thine inner crowned spirit eye, what's good, beautiful, normal, and natural of thine inner soul heart, Yesud, meaning foundation. Domination force, the black leadership. At E7, the crown chakra is at base here, being the soul king's neck and head. And on your minds, the domination force soon thereof will be the soul standard. At E8, where the soul star chakra is at the base here, at E8, consisting of the soul king's actual self. Domination force, the soul driver, meaning what you will all soon be reincarnated into so you can establish unto the next one. At E9, where the earth star chakra is the base, you can establish the ethereal mother Akasha unto the soul's grounds. That there is a Spiritual Marine Corps parable. In my opinion, one of the most powerful ones I have. Part 5, the Spiritual Coast Guard parable in the Perfect Love Coasties invasion force, the 9-dimensional planetary enlightenment infantry. Purge targets, the 9-dimensional base and or sword form, the one that just came about due to the parable of the Marine Corps being completed. You are currently devil dogs, who will soon no longer be devil dogs. See, in my mind, I've already kicked the devil 47 centillion soul yards away. You all have to do it now, which would give our soul king its abilities to rip the sword out of the root and force sheath it into the Mahaparinirvana. We all go into the same place like we came from the same place. Moving along. So, part 5 now. The Spiritual Coast Guard parable, the Perfect Love Coasties and or the Perfect Love Coast Guardsmen's invasion force. The 9-dimensional planetary enlightenment infantry purge targets a 9-dimensional base and or sword form. We just had the parable at first, now we got the form itself. And what's the outcome of objectives and or the domination force thereof? The 9-dimensional base and or sword form enlightenment. You could just say 9-dimensional base form enlightenment, or you could just say 9-dimensional sword form enlightenment. Either way it goes, the idea is to drag you all to the same grounds I stand on. Why did I just blink as I said that? Because the more I try to put this idea into the world, the more it makes my dang old eyes burn. I don't know why it does this, but it just does. Probably because it's trying to make me seem like I'm lying to you. But in reality, I want to get out of your hell more than anything alive. More than anything you know of. That's why I do all of this. Part 6. The spiritual public health services parable with the perfect love officers force the 9 solfeggio healing frequencies. Targets the 9-dimensional base and/or soar form enlightened, meaning itself. Domination force and/or outcome of objective, the 9-dimensional base and/or soar form transcended. I've covered the public health services already, where we just become the continents now. We become the world, in other words. We just become the world. That Marine Corps parable becomes the world, meaning North America, South America, and Africa, enlightened, so on and so forth, to the Son, Father, Soul, to the Son, Father, Mother. Moving along. Part 7, the spiritual Noah Corp parable with the perfect love Noah Corp officers and their force. What is the Noah Corp's force for this parable to work? The 10-dimensional Kabbalah chakra system. The 10-dimensional Kabbalah chakra system. I'm starting to gain a mild amount of enjoyment from even knowing what the sapphire rots of the Kabbalah's tree of life information is thereof. However, still, I don't necessarily line with or accept any of the sacred geometric symbols. I am against the sacred geometric symbols. I know them all, but I'm also against them because they limit your infinite dimensional thinking mind's capabilities with lines and squares and circles and whatnot. Even the circles are bad, even though the circles represent the spirit's nature. Circles and squares are still bad. All the shapes are. Yeah, even though the universe itself is a shape, it's round, but, well, how do we know that, right? All of our abilities to know things were destroyed due to the devil's sword, which will soon become the soul sword once I kick the devil off of it. Or once the spiritual parable does. Due to this sword, we no longer know the shape of our own universe, or even the shape of our own world. We have arguments out here telling us that our world is flat and round. What else are we to believe? What if the entire world was the frickin' universe? What if there wasn't a planet we're standing on? What if this entire universe is the planet? Have you ever thought about that argument? No, screw a flat Earth. Screw even a round Earth. What if the planet was the universe itself? What if? You could just put a flat Earth theory out here. Okay, what if the planet was the whole universe? What if that's the case? You ever thought about having an argument like that? Oh, the planet ain't flat or round. It's the frickin' galaxy. The planet ain't flat or round. It's the whole galaxy. Yeah, the sun is like outside of the frickin' galaxy, and you know, just start any kind of argument and just say things that'll distract people from doing what they know needs to be done, doing what's right, like stopping the problem at its core and at the surface. Moving along. The 10-dimensional Kabbalah chakra system. Purge targets. The 9-dimensional base and/or soar form transcended. Outcome of objectives. The 10-dimensional base and/or soar form paradisiacal transcendence. The 10-dimensional base and/or soar form paradisiacal transcendence. Because remember, we just upgraded from the 9-dimensional base and/or soar form transcended. So now we're going up to the 10-dimensional base and/or soar form paradisiacal transcendence. Next, part 8, the one that I just covered in the previous video. Invasion Force, or the spiritual Air Force parable with the perfect love Airman's invasion force. The 114 chakra systems hierarchies. Purge target, the 10-dimensional base and/or sword form paranirvana state. Outcome of objectives, the infinite dimensional base and/or sword form Mahaparinirvana state. I have to read off the commission idols to you, the commission officer idols to you one more time, and then go into the final one. So here we go. For the spiritual Air Force, or the perfect love airmen, the commission officer idols, starting with the company grade officer idols. At 01, the Soul, Second Lieutenant, or 2 LTs, Rank Chapter Domination Force, the 9 Choirs of Angels, the 3 Triads. At 02, the Soul First Lieutenant, or 1 LTs, Rank Chapter Domination Force, the 14 Locusts. You got the 7 higher locusts and the 7 lower locusts. The goal here for me personally, with all this talking I'm doing, is to force the entire world, or trick talk the entire world, to stand on the highest possible loca known, which is the soul grounds. The soul grounds. And the reason why is because those recessive geneity, who you call white people, those who serve or those who are overwhelmingly coerced into the devil's agendas, they are out here trying to ensure everyone in society, the civilians, the fighters, and the leaders, this is what they are doing. Just because I can properly label and describe what an opposite genetic class of my own is doing, that does not make me racist. This is what they are doing. They are constantly fighting night and day to keep everything in nature at a low vibrational state casually. They are trying to keep you at a casual low vibration. They are trying to make low activity casual. They are trying to make low things casual. They are trying to make evil energy casual. Death energy casual. That's what they are trying to make casual. They've done it. We're eating dead people. We're eating dead food. We're eating dead animals. You become what you consume. You become the average of the 5 people you associate with most, or you become a product of your death-filled environment. That's what you do. The 14 lokas is a parable that gets you to the highest Satya loka. And at this specific loka, I believe that's what it was called at the higher loka. I have to look at it again and memorize it. It's a lot to memorize it. At this specific loka means planet, place, or plane. That's what loka means. A planet or place or a plane. A planet, like a soul grounds planet. A place, like a soul standard place, or a soul ethic environment. Or plane. What you manifest from your soul ethnic codings unto the environmental grounds thereof. You follow me? We're going to get to that highest level loka spot, or that highest loka plane right there. Then once we do, all things that used to be low vibrational, is this making sense what I just said? All things of a low vibrational casual state will no longer be so. We'll find it repulsive, disgusting, and needing to be rejected by any moral means necessary. Especially now that we see the anchors away here. If you're able to see them just yet. You'll be able to see them soon though. I'm just going to keep talking until you can. I am the greatest weapon that black people only will ever have. Period. Moving along. At 03, the Soul Captain, CPT's Rank Chapter Domination Force, the 72,000 Nadis channels, focusing on the 7 hierarchical grids. All of this is proving God's innocence. I'm going to tell you in a moment how. Next are the Field Grade Officer Idols. Speaking of Captain, Brother Ibrahim Traore, we need both farmers and fighters. But right now, due to the state that we are all in currently, because of those people and their ways and the agendas and the things they're trying to preserve, we need more fighters. Unfortunately, we're going to have to farm later, but we need fighters now. Field Grade Officer Idols. At 04, the Soul Major, MAJ's Rank Chapter Domination Force, Ein Sof, and/or the 10-dimensional Kabbalah chakra system, the one that just came from the previous one. At 05, the Soul Lieutenant Colonel LTC's Rank Chapter Domination Force, the 14 Meridians, and 361 pressure points. Pressure points. You ever watched, what's that anime cartoon? You don't have to compare it to an anime cartoon. You can compare it to some real life. Okay, then go look up some Chinese medicine, Asian medicine. Find out how pressure points work by moving energy from source to within and throughout us all. At 05, I just read that one. 06, the Soul Colonel, COL's Rank Chapter Domination Force, the 7 higher nature organs like the pineal, the pituitary, the thyroid, and the thymus, the fallopian tube, so on and so forth. At 07, the Soul Brigadier General, BG's Rank Chapter in Domination Force, the 7 divine senses. What do I mean by the 7 divine senses? If ether can be considered a physical sense like smell, ether can be considered the smell sense or the air sense. It can be considered either one. Astral and source. The astral sense and the source sense. Astral is like your instinctive sense almost. And the source is the life force. The actual where you come from. The sense of self. Ego? Correct. The Soul Brigadier General, BG's rank chapter domination force, the 7 divine senses, and the other 5 you already know of them. So ether being like essentially all 5 of the physical senses, and then astral and source being the last 2. Believe whatever you want. 08. The Soul Major General, MG's rank chapter domination force, the 7 ethereal subplanes, like the atomic subplane and the super ethereal subplane. Go look those up. The Soul Lieutenant General, all this is proving God's innocence, but I'm telling you all that God is. God is a life-giving energy, period. Life-giving energy, period. God ain't giving you death. God is not giving you death. Why are you giving God death? Stop giving God death. God ain't giving you death. Why are you giving God death? What did God do to you for you to give God death? Well, all of this information tells me that God is giving you life. 08. The Soul Lieutenant General, LTG's rank chapter domination force, the 8 planets of the solar system. Oh, you just argued that the whole planet right here may just be the entire universe. So how do we even have other planets? I'm just saying random things, man, because you all are. I'm just a product of my environment. Ibrahim Traore over in Burkina Faso just lost 250 brothers within the span of 3 months. Why doesn't anybody care? 010, the Soul General, GEN's rank chapter domination force. The Sun Soul's great paradisiacal transcendent state. You're not our people, so why should we care? Special 1, the Soul General of the Air Force's rank chapter domination force, the Heavenly Father's great paradisiacal transcendent state. Why do you want us to care? Why should we even care? Special 2, the Soul General of the Air Force's rank chapter domination force, the Ethereal Mother's great paradisiacal transcendent state, the Soul King military exclusive rank. That's home liberation. I am tired of living in a world where you are murdering me all day for no reason. That's why I care. You know, I can feel all those deaths. Now, with the time I have left, the Soul King's Military Entrenchment Saga, Part 9 of 9, the final one. Stage, the Mahaparinirvanic Soul Tribe family grounds, home, what we need to liberate. Branch, the Spiritual Space Force parable, the Perfect Love Guardians. Facts, established December 20th, 2019, and currently under the Department of the Air Force, which was established the 9th month of the 18th day within the 1947th year, or the 1947th year. Their invasion force, the Spiritual Air Force's invasion force, the 20 Life Plan Blueprint projects, the Purge targets, the infinite dimensional base and/or sword forms, Mahaparinirvanic state. Outcome of objective and/or domination force, home arrival, destination. That's all I was putting in the air here. The enlisted personnel idols. Flying in at E1, the Soul Specialists, or SPC-1's rank chapter invasion force, Project 1, proving God's innocence. That was all of this I just read. Proving God's life-giving energy, a God that is not doing anything to you. You are only doing things to the God, like taking out 250 of Brother Ibrahim Traore's family members, my family members, our family members. Why are you hitting yourself? Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. That's the whole point of Project 1, to tell you to stop hitting yourself. You won't ever. And then the combination of me revealing all of these projects will give the melanated people of the world a real good, strong, finite way to see you doing it. But are they going to just keep sitting there and watching you do it? Oh, from the looks of it, yeah. Why? Because those people on that other side of the imaginary borderline ain't our people. And then on top of that, if we were to start coming together, they'll just blow us all up and blow us all apart again. Did you notice these so-called white people only encourage you to build up your lives so they can have something to knock down in them? They only live to manipulate. I only have bad things to say about you. Just killed 250 people. Why? No, it was you. Look at that. And I just took a shower like 5 moments ago. Gotta go take another one too now, huh? Why am I in this position? Oh. Well, it's because of what I did, huh? It's because of what I did. It's always what I did. Nothing, there's no other problem outside of us. It's just us destroying our own lives. Well, it is, isn't it? Purge targets North America, Africa's Mahaparinirvanic state. Domination force, home liberation. Next, E2, the Soul Specialist, SP2's Rank Chapter Invasion Force, Project 2, NA Africa Unity. Purge targets South America, Africa's Mahaparinirvanic. Domination force, home liberation. I'm going to be mentioning that a lot because throughout the entirety of the Space Force, it's just all home liberation. Because all of the projects are home liberation. Fighting to free our homes so we can make a choice, period. Did you notice these oppressive people are trying to stop us from making even a choice with our lives? A simple choice. For example, if you're somebody like me who just simply wants to go over there, they don't want you to do that. They'll advocate for you not having the right to walk across the fucking street. That's technically what they're doing. But is it what they're doing? Yeah. You want to know why? Because a lot of us cannot walk across the street over to Burkina Faso and stop Brother Ibrahim Traore's brethren from being taken from us. Nor could we have stopped the 6 million in Congo that were taken out in March of 2023. Moving along. E3. The Soul Specialist, or SPC's 3's Rank Chapter Invasion Force, Project 3, NASA Africa Unity. Purge target, Africa's Mahaparinirvanic. Domination force, home liberation. This is essentially going to be the same thing for all of the enlisted personnel. At E4, the Soul Specialist SPC-4's Rank Chapter Invasion Force, Project 4, the MLK March X1000 on the actual Africa. Purge targets, Australia, Oceania, Africa's Mahaparinirvanic state. Domination force, home liberation. I am going after the whole world, remember? And now moving on to the non-commissioned officer idols. The Space Force has 4 enlisted personnel ranks. Only has 2 non-commissioned officer idols, but still has 3 senior non-commissioned officer idols. Here's E5, the Soul Sergeant SGT's Rank Chapter Invasion Force, Project 5, Everybody Comes Home. Purge target, Asia, Africa's Great Paradisiacal Transcendent State. Because remember, Mahaparinirvana means Great Paradisiacal Transcendent State. That's all it means. Moving along. Project 5, Everybody Comes Home. Purge target, Asia, Africa's Great Paradisiacal Transcendent State. Domination Force, home liberation. E6, the Soul Technical Sergeant, or TSGT's Rank Chapter Invasion Force, Project 6, the Worldwide Messiah Resurrection. After Everybody Comes Home, we're going for the Worldwide Messiah Resurrection. Same projects, just wrapped up in a nice little U.S. military bow now. The Worldwide Messiah Resurrection, Purge target, Europe, Africa's Great Paradisiacal Transcendence. Domination Force, home liberation. You're really going to put the people of Europe into the greatest possible state imaginable? They're already there. Moving along. Senior non-commissioned officer idols. E7, the Soul Master Sergeant, or MSGT's Rank Chapter Invasion Force. Project 7, the Global Ocean Cleanse / Filtration. Purge target, the Sun Soul's Great Paradisiacal Transcendent State. Domination Force, home liberation. Meaning I am going to charge the people who are now free of the so-called white folk oppression, even though it's in reality it's a devil nature's oppression, to now go out and begin cleaning the planet itself. Remember, we are the Sun Soul. We are the Sun Soul. At E8, the Soul Senior Master Sergeant, or SMSGT's Rank Chapter Invasion Force, Project 8 Global Lands Cleanse / concentration of the junk and the filth into one area, so we can then turn it into other things. You'll see what I mean. Purge target, the Heavenly Father's Great Paradisiacal Transcendent States. Remember, once the Father's heart is clean, his body shall stretch to the stars. But you just argued at the end. Shut up. Domination Force, home liberation. At E9, the sole Chief Master Sergeant of the Spiritual Space Force, or CMSSF's Rank Chapter Invasion Force, Project 9, the Global Air Cleanse. In other words, subjugation of the devil. Purge target, the Ethereal Mother's Great Paradisiacal Transcendent State, Domination Force, home free. Yeah, I said home free right there, instead of home liberation. Want to know why? Because once we subjugate the foul air of the devil, there will be no more devil. And once the core of the problem is destroyed or stopped, what's happening on the surface will no longer do so. Because what's happening on the surface is because of what's happening at the core. This is why I keep targeting the core, not what's going on the surface. I bring mild awareness to what's going on the surface. For example, Brother Ibrahim Chariore, who just lost 200 family members 2 months ago and just lost 50 family members a day ago. Yeah, they are non-stop taking us out. They only live to be our detriment because of what's at the core telling them to be so. The foul principality air. The foul principality sinful air of the devil. The Space Force doesn't have any warrant officers, so I skipped them. Commissioned officer idols. Company grade officer idols. 01, the sole second lieutenant. They have the same ranks as the Army and the Marine Corps. The sole second lieutenant, or 2 DLTs, rank chapter Domination Force. Project 10, the Global Heart Train. Taking that garbage and turning it into something else, see? I got a plan for virtually everything I'm talking about here. Just getting you all here so we can get there. At 02, the sole first lieutenant, or first LTs, rank chapter Domination Force. Project 11, the Global Tree Assistance Sidewalks. Global Heart Train, Global Tree Assistance Sidewalks. 03, the sole captain. CAPT's rank chapter Domination Force. Project 12. It's ironic that this one landed here, especially after what they just caused again. But you know, if we talk about it, we're racist. The reverse Dr. Yaqub Israel experiments. No more white people in reality. But how so? Because they're going to be genetically changed back to normal. So it's just a project to get the genetically incorrect back to being correct, so that the spirit soul, at least this is my plan here, because I ain't really got no other way to fight you. I don't. My people do, especially if they came together and realized what they had to fight you. But this is all I got, watching them fight to come back together. So, moving along. Reversing what is genetically incorrect back to being correct. That's the whole point of this parable. Finishing it. Field grade officer idols. Remember, Project 12. Reverse Yaqub experiment. Reversing what is genetically incorrect back to what is genetically correct. That's all it is. Genetic corrections. That's all it is. Field grade officer idols at 04. Soul Major. The Soul Major, or MAJ's rank chapter Domination Force. Project 13. My personal desire. My God, my normality, my wife, and my farm. And in that order. My God is my village. My normality is regeneration. My wife is my home. The Ethereal Mother is my paranirvanic state. Liberation. And then my farm. At 05, the Soul Lieutenant, or LT's, LTCOL's rank chapter Domination Force. Project 14, the Global Farm Chain. I'm trying to hurry up because I know I'm running out of time. The Global Farm Chain, which is my ultimate plan. This is the farmers' revolution. However, we still need more fighters than we need farmers. We need more fighters than we need farmers. 06, the Soul Colonels, COL's rank chapter Domination Force. Project 15, the 4 Soul War Careers. Mixing up with my God, my normality, my wife, and my farm. Anatomy, astrology, anatomy, architecture, and agriculture. Astrology, anatomy, architecture, and agriculture. Those are going to be the 4 Soul World Careers. The Soul General Officers, if I got time to read this. The Soul Brigadier General, or Brig Gen's rank chapter Domination Force. Project 16, the Galactic God's Kingdom Reestablishment. 08, the Soul Major Generals, MAJ's rank chapter Domination Force. Project 17, the Galactic God's Kingdom Migration. 09, the Soul Lieutenant General, or Lieutenant General's rank chapter, or LT Gen's rank chapter Domination Force. Project 18, the Galactic God's Kingdom Neighborhood. 09, I just read that one. 010, the Soul Generals, or GEN's rank chapter Domination Force. Project 19, the Galactic God's Kingdom Resurrection. Now you become the Soul King. All of us do. And special, The Soul General of the Space Force is Rank Chapter Domination Force. Project 20, the Galactic God's Kingdom, the Galactic Soul King's Supremacy, or Victory. Home arrival. The Galactic Soul King's Supremacy is home arrival for us. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Through the spirit the soul breathes. Protect your people with all of your might. We deserve to be protected by us. Peace, love, unity, and advancement to you all, my family.